Perseverance Code Media presents Life Situation Commentary Series 9. And we're going to be talking about today about conflict of interest and mitigation. Okay, so Wikipedia has some things to say about a conflict of interest, but I'm only going to share a small portion of everything that uh, Wikipedia talks about in terms of conflict of interest. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna repeat the portion that speaks directly to the problem that's going on at my job. You know, the food service. It says secondary interest includes not only financial gain but also such motives as the desire for professional advancement and the wish to do favors for family and friends. But conflict of interest rules usually focus on financial relationships because they are relatively more objective, fungible, and quantifiable. The secondary interests are not treated as wrong in themselves, but become objectionable when they are believed to have greater weight than the primary interest. Whether or not a particular individual is actually influenced by the secondary interest, it exists if the circumstances are reasonably believed on the basis of past experiences and objective evidence to create a risk that decisions may be unduly influenced by secondary interests. Okay, so in other words, a conflict of interest can happen when somebody at your job is making more money than what they should be making or less money than what they should be making. You know, or somebody could get a position that they don't deserve. Or somebody has a position and through their behavior, they have repeatedly uh, abused their position of power. And according to their behavior and the complaints of some of the people, of some of the employees, they should no longer have that job. But because there is a glitch, there is a team, or there is a people watching each other's back, from management to human resource, that person that should be losing their position of power can't lose it because they're being protected. You know, it could be by reason of blackmail. You know, the supervisor was told that she has to be manipulative. She could be manipulative. She could be mean, you know, in carrying out the responsibility of having oversight of the workplace. So those are a couple of scenarios. And these are scenarios that could be very well happening. I mean, I know a couple of them are happening at Rider Dining as we speak right now. You know, but these are just a couple of scenarios that could be happening in your situation. You know, because definitely is happening in my situation. So, the last thing I want to say about a conflict of interest is a conflict of interest can, however, become a legal matter. For example, when an individual tries to influence the outcome of a decision for personal benefit. There is so much to say, and I have some of these things written down, but there is so much to say about what's going on at Rider Dining and how it pertains to a conflict of interest. Last Thursday, a couple Thursdays ago, I confronted my manager, the second to the main manager. She's been there for quite some time, for several years now. And I told her that I was tired of her being disingenuous towards me and antagonistic, you know, trying to provoke me to get upset by saying meaningless or insincere, making meaningless and insincere statements, you know, as she came to my, walk past my station. Oh, this looks good. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I bet that was the food that the students really liked. I bet that one was really good. By the way, which food did the students eat the most? Or what was the most popular thing? I bet that was the most popular thing. That kind of thing. Very insincere, very disingenuous. You know? There's no point in saying it other than to try to provoke me, try to get me upset, you know, try to antagonize me, knowing that I like when people are honest and genuine about what they say and how they say it, especially when it pertains to me, at least. So the other thing is antagonizing. I mean, very antagonistic. I would be speaking to the students, and she would interrupt me by speaking over me as she greeted other people. You know, and this is what I told her. This is what I told her, and she denied it. How do you deny it when I told you in explicit detail what you were doing? You know, you could deny it all you want. I'm still going to stand by my claim. So this is what's happened. You know, and I addressed it to her, and I told her that before the winter break, the supervisor and her daughter worked the same shift. That wasn't supposed to happen. Like, even before human resource and all the dilemma in the past, in the summertime, all unfolded, even before that happened, the supervisor not supposed to work the same shift with their child. That's not supposed to happen. Now, human resources got involved not because I wanted to in the summertime, but because I've written a detailed complaint to the food director, and the food director, without consulting me, gave it to the manager, and the manager, without consulting me, faxed it to human resource. So I was forced to deal with human resource. But the reason I was forced to deal with human resource is because there's a conflict of interest. You know, human resource can record your phone calls, you know, and then they could play it back to the manager. And then the manager can decide what they're going to do or what they're going to say in response to my communication with human resource. You know, that's how I think it worked back in the summertime. I'm not explaining it in detail what happened in summertime, but that's unnecessary. It's documented. So the very next morning, and she also promised me a while back, or she didn't promise me, but she gave me her word that she was going to look into giving me advice or helping me understand what I need to work towards in order to having a management position. And she said, okay, I'm going to think about it, and I'll fill you in, or I'm going to talk to you, something like that, she said. So the very next morning, after I addressed the situation, Friday morning, she said, thank you for being candid, thank you for being honest and addressing what you said. We're going to start a developmental process of management, position of management for you. Now, those were her words. If you're not really considering me being management or working my way up to a management position, then why would you say that? You know, why wouldn't you provide more detail if that's not what you meant? You know, don't be deceptive. Don't leave things open to interpretation. So that way, when I get to telling students that I'm about to work my way into a management position, I make a fool out of myself by you telling me, no, that's not what I meant. You know, then I get embarrassed and I look like a fool in front of hundreds of people because that's what I thought was going to happen. So, you know, you gotta. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm going to challenge management. Even if I'm alone, I'm going to challenge the management because you got to take a stand. If you know the truth and you can defend yourself, you have to take a stand against the injustices that are going on around you. If you don't do something about it, things will never change. It will never change. If you don't take a risk, it'll never change. You know, older people. I read an article that older people on their deathbed, one of the things that they regret is not taking the risks. Not taking the risks because they would have never known. So, this is Raul Cortez Jr., Perseverance Code Media, Life Situation Commentaries, Series 9, Conflict of Interest / Mitigation. Mitigation basically means that a manager or a person who is working for a corporation, they leave the job, they transfer out or quit before they can get accused of a conflict of interest. Peace out.